we got some drama in the NFL. Apparently, this is still happening. So the 49ers practice surface, they're practicing over at UNLV. Not the that's the home of Randall Cunningham.
They're not happy.
Yeah. So apparently the surface that they're practicing on, not ideal. So this is from ESPN, says the NFL put in a sod field on top of a field turf and started laying it just last week when the NFL ordinarily requires Super Bowl practice fields to meet certain standards in December, sources told Adam Schefter, Brady's guy.
They put sod on top of a field turf. Okay.
So the NFL hardness score, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently there's this NFL hardness score.
They'll check out how hard you can get.
It's
I'm as hard as they get. Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about the turf?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So apparently field
Sam would have dumped us on that.
So the field, the averages are 78. This one, and no field is less than 70 apparently. The 49ers considered this one in the 50s. So it is way subpar, not ideal for anybody.
Sloppy.
Roger Goodell has pushed back on it and said, from all our experts and people that have looked at it, it's more than ideal. Kyle Shanahan, not wanting to make excuses, just said, hey, listen, it's going to improve over and over, but as the week goes on, we'll just deal with it, whatever, it's fine. Here's my question. Why is this still an issue in the NFL? Why is playing surfaces still an issue in a league that has so much revenue flowing?
Because they don't care about those little things. They really don't. There's measurements and put in place from like a liability standpoint. But when it comes to actually like caring about that element of player safety, like they don't check those boxes, or they do just to be front facing, like for the media.
It's just like
I wish there was video of it, because I heard guys were pulling up sod, and that's how they discovered it. They just were like, oh, this just field turf underneath this.
It's like the idea.
And then how do you go back to field turf after you've put sod on the field turf like that?
Oh, they just clean it up. They get that brush that comes through. It's like a Zamboni, but for the field turf.
Isn't attention to detail kind of important when you go to some place?
You would assume. You're paying millions of dollars to these guys. Why? I don't know. I guess at some point you start to ask yourself, playing surfaces, it's like, what surfaces did you play on to get here? What did your little league surface look like, or your high school surface look like? I mean, at the professional level, it should be, and even at the college level,
it should be the best.
It should be the best. You have the resources. It should be the best. You got to protect your investment, but, I don't know.
I was going to say the problem that's going to come from all this is if that's a concern once you get to the game site, teams might say, we're good. Like, we're not practicing at the Raiders facilities, which Kansas City got the opportunity to do so. They have to practice at a college, which, nothing against UNLV, but their facilities aren't to the standards of the Raiders. Maybe San Francisco next time around just says to the NFL, we're going to actually stay and practice here. We're not going to go till later on in the week, because it's a concern for our players. And they even talked about potentially sharing the practice facility there with the Raiders, with Kansas City throughout the course of the week. That might have been a solution if they can't fix the field in time.
It's like the stuff that and look, I know that they want to grow the game and they want to put it in different, like when they did the thing that happened in Cincinnati where A.J. Green got injured because they were practicing, I think it was at Dayton. The Bengals were practicing in Dayton, and the conditions were so bad, and people were complaining about it, and then somebody ended up getting hurt. And it's like, yeah, listen, that's unfortunate, but don't worry about it. The idea that this is – you're playing on this. It's one of the most important aspects of the game and the league, and still there's an issue. Regardless of what the hardness score is or whoever says Roger Goodell's disputing it. If I was Roger Goodell, if the people that are responsible for growing the game, like the players and one of the Super Bowl teams, is complaining about the surface that they're practicing on, my goal would be like, hey, I don't want to dispute this publicly. I want to get it figured out and get it fixed.
Right.
And it's like,
and it's not.
I get it.
How did this happen? Like, let's figure out how to get it fixed, and then let's figure out how it never happens again, right?
And there's just no thought to that.
It's not like you're taking guys to the ground, so it's like you're hitting, a surface that, is going to hurt you from getting tackled. what you're talking about is like burnouts and stuff like that, like guys trying to make cuts, and the turf is so it's, for them to be complaining and for it to have turned into this type of story, that surface had to be really, really bad. It had to be a poor surface because all they're doing is running. They're not doing anything else. It's not like a heavy grind of a practice. You're not banging pads and taking guys down. You're just running plays. So if you're just running around and you have a problem with what the surface is like, that means guys are trying to come out of cuts and breaks and stuff like that, and the turf is just giving way. It's just going every which direction.
Well, if it's actually might be good practice for them, if it's anything like what the Super Bowl turf was like last year in Arizona, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they had an issue last year, right? Yeah, like it just it's just.
Is that where the dude came out and put all them pellets on top of it? What game was that where the guy came out with the big ass bucket pellets? It came out in the in the end zone. He came running out with the pellets.
Was that a bowl game?
They put it in.
I thought that was in like
He got the hell up out of there. I don't remember.
I thought that was like a bowl game in Atlanta.
Maybe you're right. But he did. I mean, that right there shows you, like, really? That's how you're fixing it?
Yeah.
Dang, just throw a whole bucket of pellets on it. You're going to be all right. Rubber pellets.
And that's what's funny about it is that we talked about it yesterday, that the World Cup's coming to MetLife Stadium. They're going to have a grass surface there. Yeah. They'll do whatever it takes to make sure the soccer players are fine. But when it comes to NFL and the Super Bowl, hey, listen, on our hardness score, we disagree with the Niners.
You can make the
fine.
case they should be like growing a separate field for specifically the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like Christmas trees.
Well, I was going to say that, or like you get some people who are into the grass, who are into growing stuff, and make sure they just focus
stay
on
there,
that.
they talk to it,
all year long.
Spray it, prune it,
or just
by
growing
hand.
their grass.
That's a great point. One of these spring leagues,
each portion pruned by hand.
That's what they should do. But they won't, because
but they won't.
Apparently it's suffice to have a sod field on top of field turf.
Can you imagine the guy doing it?
Like what are we doing?
Imagine the guys doing it, like just throwing sod down. They're like, yeah, this will work.
He's like, wait a second, the game's next week?
Oh.
Hey, what do we got back in the work shed? And he just throws whatever he can on the field.
It's a bad look for UNLV, though. Golly. It's a bad look. I mean, how's that going to impact recruiting? How does that, what does that even look like?
Well, on the other hand, maybe it's because they save some funds on not splurging on the turf for that reason.
Hey, NIL.
They were like, wait a second. How much do we need to get this guy?
Right.
All right, hold on. Where can we
throw some sod on that field.
Where can we cut some budgets here? Do you guys know we can actually save about $100,000, $200,000?
Dang.
All right.
That dude better prove out.
For the landscaping budget straight out to some kid.
And UNLV lands the best quarterback in the transfer portal.
The best thing is that player's going to end up taking that money, and he's going to invest in like a chain, and it's just have like a big grass patch.
Right here.
I mean, that wouldn't be new to UNLV, would it?